Hey guys, welcome to this video today. I'm going to be talking to you about the relationships in your life, right? So maybe you have clients who you feel don't appreciate you or they're not listening to you. Maybe you feel like your partner doesn't get you, your family doesn't support you. Maybe you feel like you don't have real friends that you can trust. So I'm going to go into this because I have a huge announcement. I'm going to be opening doors to Magnetism Unleashed, and I'm going to be talking about this relationship stuff. So a huge part of what I do is I help people who are already successful in business. Hey Sandra, I help people who are already successful in their business. I help them to 4x by cutting out the burnout, actually cutting their workload by 1/10. And I help them to, Sandra, I really am happy that you're on this live stream because this is actually something that you can actually attest to. You've experienced this firsthand from me, working with me. But so basically I help people with their businesses, right? But there's a byproduct of my work every single time, and it happens to be with people's relationships. So when people come into my work, they come to me because they're burnt out. They're making money, but they're burnt out. They want to do things differently. They don't love their business, or they're not head over heels in love with their business anymore, and they want to pivot. So I help them to pivot into their soul path. I give them a makeover, a soul makeover, and then they get into the model of their business that makes them 10x the income with 1/10 of the effort, right? But Sandra, you know this. One of the byproducts is that they end up having crazy, wild, amazing, loving, supportive relationships at the end. So whether from their healing relationships with their mom, healing relationships with their mom, it could be leaving unaligned romantic relationships and then finding a soulmate 2 days later, people who were engaged, their partner finally proposes, or people who they've been married, finally they end up having babies, and everything in their relationships just start to evolve and change. And so I realized that there needs to be a container in my work where I teach this part, the part that causes this shift, and only this. Because there's so many people who are so good at business, you're so good at leadership, you're so good at what you do, but when you look around, your romantic relationship is not where you want it to be. Your family relationships, you are dreading, Thanksgiving is coming up and you're oh my God, I don't even want to be there. What are the holidays coming up? Christmas is coming up. You're oh my God, I don't want to see these people. You're dreading having to see these people. And then when you have your friends, maybe you don't feel like you can fully open up and be vulnerable or trust them. And believe me, that was me as well. I did not have trust of people. I was taught as a kid growing up to not trust anyone outside of my immediate family. And so having trust issues, I had serious trust issues. And here you are, you want to have a happy life. It's not just about the money, it's not just about the business. You want that too, right? But you want to have a happy life. You want to be happy in your relationships with your partner. You want to be happy with your parents. You want them to understand you. You want to feel loved by them. You want friends who get it and who cheer you on and support you and witness you, right? And so it's how can you have that? How can you create that, without burning out even more, because now you're thinking, oh my God, I need, what's wrong with me? Why does nobody love me? So that's actually what Magnetism Unleashed is about. So Magnetism Unleashed, I'm going to explain to you the dynamics of how it works. So when you were born, right, you're born into this body, you have a soul, you have a spirit, you have this body, right? When you're born into this body, your body actually has something called a morphogenic field. Your morphogenic field is the thing that pulls things to you, and that's on an energetic level, on a quantum level, not your subconscious mind. It's very different. Your morphogenic field is something that is, it's kind of you talk about auras, it's kind of like that, but it's not your aura, but it's very, very similar to your aura. But within your morphogenic field, it has and resonates all the belief systems you have, right? So when you were a kid and that best friend, didn't want to be your friend anymore and they abandoned you, your aura, your energetic field imprints into its state a belief to protect you from having that ever happen in the future, right? When your dad left and walked out on your mom and walked out on you and your siblings, and you felt oh my God, my dad doesn't love me, men can't love me, no one loves me. What happened was, to protect yourself, within your morphogenic field, you imprinted the belief system that don't trust men, don't trust people, whatever it is, right? When you were a kid and you were being creative and expressive and somebody laughed at you, right? it taught you that, oh my God, I can't be me. I can't be accepted. People don't love me as who I am. And so then you're resonating. And what's happening is that in our morphogenic field, we have all these things that are coming up, and it's also in our subconscious as well. So we're looking for it constantly. Our brains are always on alert. Look for the people who you can't trust. Look for the people who you can't trust. This way you're protected. But what happens is that instead of protecting yourself, you go in and you pull them in. So now you're surrounded by all these people who don't get you. You're surrounded by clients who don't appreciate you, clients who don't recognize you, who don't acknowledge you. And like all these relationships that come up and like imprints on how you are and who you are. Okay? So what has to change is not that you need to go to more therapy. That's not what actually needs to change. What has to change is your relationship first with yourself. You have to understand the soul print of who you really are and the original morphogenic resonance that you wanted to that you held, and also think about who you desire to be and what morphogenic resonance they have. What's the system that they hold subconsciously? You know, what's the system that they hold in their auric field? And then it's about attracting from that place. And this is beyond the law of attraction, guys. This is actually beyond the law of attraction. This is deeper. This goes deeper than, oh, I just believe that I'm going to manifest my soulmate and then I manifest it. You have to actually recode and rewrite the morphogenic field and what's going on in this in the essence that you hold, and canceling, because everything is waves, right? So there's waves of I can't trust people. There's waves of people disappoint me. There's waves of no one supports me, no one loves me, no one understands me. So it's about canceling those things. And so how do you do this? Well, there's certain sets of things that you do. Like I'm saying, it's about you rewriting yours. But you do this through embodying your inner seductress, okay? The seductress essence, and your sexual energy and your sensuality. That's how you do that. There's so much power. If you think about sex energy, right? Through sex energy, that's how souls become 3D bodies. Through the power of sex energy. Sex energy is something that transmutes from just the ethereal realm into the 3D dimension, right? That's the power. That's one of the powers of sex energy. And we talk about seduction. Seduction is about bringing in the desires that you want. I believe that the seductress is the most powerful emanation of the manifester. Like, she's a master manifester because she pulls in what she wants, but in a way where it feels beneficial to her and the person on the receiving end. So if you've ever seduced someone, or if you've ever been seduced by someone, in the moment of the seduction, you didn't feel like you were taken advantage of. You felt like, oh my God, you felt pleasure, right? And when you're seducing, let's say you're seducing your partner or whatever, you're like coming on to them and you're doing your little things. You know, what happens is that they get pleasure from that. They get immense pleasure from that. So I want us to redefine how we're looking at seduction, because seduction is actually the way to have a win-win where you get what you want and they get what they want. And it's a win-win for all. And so when you're embodying the seductress, your morphogenic resonance is completely different. The seductress does not hold the belief that she doesn't deserve. The seductress doesn't hold the belief that she can't trust. The seductress doesn't hold the belief that people don't like her. It's actually the opposite. The seductress is like, oh, people love me. I'm lovable. I'm so amazing. Like the seductress holds a very, very different frequency and resonance in her morphogenic field as to what she deserves and what she's available for and what she's capable of and who she can get, the type of friends she can get, the type of the way her family treats her. I have clients who, like, they did not get along with their parents, and after going through this process, they're seeing their parents every weekend. They're spending time with the baby. There's so much love, and they're like, oh my God, Shania, like, what happened? It's like my parents are new people. It's not that your parents are different people. It's just that your resonance is different, so that there's no way they can even show up to you in a misaligned resonance. And it's like this. It's like if you think about a radio station, right? If you are playing like Hot 102, right? You're playing at Hot 102 and your family members are resonating in 94.5 FM, like, they cannot interact with you. They would never hear you, feel you, see you. But if If you are in Hot 102 and you pull them into that dimension, into that paradigm, all of a sudden they can see you for who you are. There's no static on the line. There's no like disequilibrium, right? All of a sudden there's like connection, and it's the same with your partner. I've found that sometimes you need to walk away from some partners, and you'll see miraculously like the new person will fall from the sky. Or sometimes when you are resonating at that frequency, all of a sudden your man who used to leave his shoe in the walkway, he's taking it up. All of a sudden he's taking out the garbage. All of a sudden he's cleaning up after himself and doing all the things you were nagging about without you even having to open your mouth. So in Magnetism Unleashed, it's a 6-week program of us going deeply into this resonance of you. Because here's the thing, right? When I used to study sociology, I was told you have different types of capital. You have financial capital, you have social capital, you have cultural capital. Social capital is who you know, your network, okay? And remember, your net worth is connected to your network. If nobody likes you and you feel like your clients hate you and you feel like your clients never are happy with your work, you feel like your team doesn't understand, you feel like you're not supported, you don't have any friends, like if you're already successful with those beliefs, like how much more successful would you be if you believed you were supported, that, oh my God, your clients are raving fans, your clients love your stuff, your partner is just like head over heels in love with you, like you are worthy of all the receiving, and you're just like, oh yay, I'm receiving it all. Like, how would your income change? How would your life change? How would your levels of stress change if you believe that you could actually have the team who got it and were like good, who did the shit that they're supposed to do, right? Like, how would your business change? How would your life change if all your interactions with people just like flipped 180 and were just like the best thing ever? Like, you could trust people, you were supported, like people flock to you, people are drawn to you, your partner is head over heels, you're supported, you're heard, you're understood. Like, how would your life change? Financially, how would your life change emotionally? How would your life change physically? If you believed you were sexy, if you believed that you were loved for who you are and all of who you are, how would your branding change if you knew that you couldn't make a mistake? Right, guys, I'm here. This is what I sleep in this t-shirt and I'm here. Just woke up and it's Saturday and I felt led to do this video, and I'm just here and I'm like pouring out because this is how I feel called. What kind of content would you be putting out? How unfiltered would your messages be if you weren't hiding yourself and hiding the truth? Hi, Fabiola, right? And so when you activate that magnetism within you and you're showing up in that way, you attract different people to you and you have better relationships. How much more passion would you have in your romantic relationships? How better would Thanksgiving be? Okay? How better would Christmas be if you knew you were not going into the lion's den, but you were in fact going into a place where you felt loved and you felt adored and you felt supported? Thank you for the love, Fabiola. Right? How much more amazing would Thanksgiving be if you actually knew how to resonate, vibrate, emanate at the state of being of, oh my gosh, I have amazing connections with people. If you knew that you could trust your friends, that no one was going to stab you in the back and no one was going to talk smack about you online, if you knew your clients were going to be the best clients on the planet who rave about you and are biggest fans, like, how would your marketing resonate? How would you show up in calls? In fact, how many times have you had something to say to a client, but you didn't say it because you didn't want to upset them, right? You didn't say it because you didn't want to make them angry, and so you didn't tell the client the thing they needed to hear. What would happen if you knew that you were so lovable and so irresistible and so mesmerizing and so magnetic that it didn't matter what you told your client, and that if you told them the truth, they would only love you more, and that they would actually 10x their results because now you're telling them the truth of what they needed to hear 2 months ago, which we didn't tell them, right? So now they're 10xing their results. And so I want us to realize that our relationship with people is how we evolve. That is how we up level. That is how we upgrade. If you want to make more money, you need to be nicer. You need to be in better communion with other people. If you want to have a happy marriage, it's about being in better communion with people. If you want to be a better parent, it's about being in better communion with people. If you want to be happy at Thanksgiving and Christmas on your birthday, it's like better communion with your family. Like, if you want to feel supported, better communion with your team. Like, how we interact with people messes up how we interact in the world. And a lot of times I will ask my client, I don't say what's wrong with you, I say who is wrong with you. And I actually saw Florence Scovel Shinn write this in the book The Game of Life. It's merely what is wrong with you, but who is wrong with you. So when we realize that there's a who, and when we understand how to be in the space of the person who gets to have or pick, choose, and refuse the who's that we want, and the quality of who's that we accept and that we don't accept, and when we get to be the who's that say, oh my God, I deserve to have loving romantic relationships, I deserve to be supported by a team, I deserve to have friends and sisterhood who get it. Like, when we're resonating in that space and in that vibration, we will make more money. We will make more impact. We will have a better, happier life. Chelsea Rain! Ah, hey girl! Right? We will have so much better lives when we know how to interact with people. And that comes from activating your magnetism and unleashing your magnetism. And so if it is that you're like, oh my gosh, Chanel, I want to have a thriving, like over the moon, like juicy, delicious, passionate, romantic life, love life. I want to have great relationships with my parents where when Thanksgiving and Christmas come, I'm actually happy to go fly out to see them or take that long drive to go see them. Oh my gosh, Chanel, my clients are the best clients in the world, and each client brings me 10 more clients because they're such raving fans that they don't stop promoting my stuff. Like, if that's what you want, if you want to have relationships with sisterhood where you feel like you can trust these people, it's about, yes, Sandra, it's about unleashing your inner seductress and unleashing your magnetism. Because when you do that, you don't have to nag your man to get him to hear what you're saying. You don't have to nag your dad so that you feel heard. You don't have to like delete the friends that you have and like, oh my God, I don't have any friends. No, you find yourself bringing into you rock stars. You find yourself like loving life. And when you are in love with life, and when you're in love with your clients and in love with your partner and in love with your family and your friendship dynamics, you make more money. You work less because, listen, if your clients are raving fans and they're going and promoting you and bringing you 10 more clients, you don't need to market. Okay, you don't need to market that much. So and so I know, Sandra, you can attest to this, like, and I'll share a little bit here. I won't go too much into your business, but like your first best-selling book that you wrote, you and your mom, like, that was about that relationship. And even now what you're doing with the other books and stuff, like, you talk about your relationship with your mom, but there was a time in the past where that would have never been the case, right? And that shift that happens, that's what I'm talking about. So if it is that you are ready to upgrade your relationships on every level and unleash your magnetism, I want to invite you to join me for Magnetism Unleashed. It is going to be a 6-week deep dive in like transformational program to help you to unleash your seductress energy and become so magnetic and so mesmerizing that you get the best clients, romantic relationships, family relationships, friendship relationships, and like you go to the coffee store and people are like, oh, let me just give you this free coffee. And you're like, oh, thank you. Or you go to the store and they're like, we want to give you like 20% off the thing. Like, people just become nice to you and you're just like getting favor everywhere you go. People are treating you like, you go on the flight and they're like, oh, let me upgrade you. You go to the hotel and they're like, let me upgrade you. People want to pour into you because your magnetism is so unleashed. And like I was saying, the seductress is the divine manifester. She's the powerful manifester. And so you start to just manifest crazy happiness. Like, who doesn't want to be happy? So if you want to learn about Magnetism Unleashed, this is the time. I'm so excited. Like, I am so excited because I know what this does for you. I know how this evolves your love life. No more cobwebs in the bedroom. I know what this does in your business. Like, no more worrying and trying to over deliver and burn out because you're trying to please clients. They're just pleased just by your mere existence. They get pleased. Christmas, Thanksgiving gets to be good, gets to be so good, so good. And you have friends who support you, team who supports you. So if you want to be in Magnetism Unleashed, here's what you're going to do. You are going to go on Messenger and you're going to DM me and you're going to say, Chanel, I want to be in Magnetism Unleashed. It is a $9.97 investment. And we will, once you sign up now, you'll get some juicy bonuses and stuff like that. You get this juicy bonus. And then once we start, we're going to go in and you will be thoroughly prepared for Thanksgiving. You'll be prepared for Christmas. And you'll be prepared to rock out this last quarter of the year with raving fans and clients who are just head over the heels in love with you. You'll find your romantic relationships thriving. You know, I actually got a testimonial from one of my clients recently, and she was talking about her dating situation. Like, she didn't come to me about dating. She came to me for her business, and she left with a business up-leveled and also a dating situation up level where the guy is like treating her like a goddess and a queen and wanting to like pamper her, and he's like, wow, and she was just like mind blown because she never believed that was something that was possible before. So if you want to be in Magnetism Unleashed, we shall begin very soon, but you can sign up. It's $9.97 and it's 6 weeks, and we're gonna just dive in. So if you want a hot romance, if you want to be irresistible, like turn on and activate your sexual energy and your sensuality and fall in love with yourself, then you know what to do. DM me and I can get you registered. I'm so excited. So I look forward to your messages, and I can't wait to see you in Magnetism Unleashed, where we do this thing together and literally up level every area of your life, because our relationships overlap every area of our lives. Yes. All right, bye. And I look forward to seeing you in the program. Oh, yeah. One last thing. Share this with a friend. You know, the friends who message you and they're complaining about their relationship, romantic, or clients, or family, or friendship-wise. They also need this. So do them a favor and send them this video so that they can learn about this stuff too. See you soon.